Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin. All across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin. All across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos.
A lovely morning to you. Many thanks for joining us on the newspaper review today in the dailies on 24 News Radio and Television. My name is Grace Mwafo. Now a quick rundown on the major headlines. Glitched grades, WAEC in crisis over result errors. ADC caught in crossfire as Atiku B rivalry escalates. Correctional Service sacks 15 officers, demotes 59 in major sweep. Ibadan market shot as Olubadan is buried. Rivers elders Tinubu to halt LG reinstate Fubara, and A stops Fuji star K1 the ultimate from flying for 6 months. These and more will come your way in the course of this newspaper review. Do stay with us. Yes, welcome back. And beginning from the first headline, glitched grades, WAEC in crisis over results error. There was an outrage as the West African Examinations Council denied candidates access to its result portal for the 2025 Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates following technical. The statement by the head of PES WAEC National Office, Moyosola Additional, revealed that the council identified bugs in its system following a post-release review of the 2025 WASE result, which led to the access denial. The council said access to the result checker portal had been temporarily suspended, urging candidates who had previously checked their result to recheck from Friday for the updated version. And still, this is from the Punch newspaper. So for more stories on that, the Punch newspaper is your guide. And still coming from the Punch, ADC caught in crossfire, Atiku will be rivalry escalate. With the 2027 general elections drawing closer, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's presidential ambition is reportedly shaping the internal structure of the African Democratic Congress, while Peter Obi, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, is said to be struggling for influence. Insiders within the ADC who spoke on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the matter alleged that Atiku financed effort to take control of the party as a platform to challenge President Bola Tinubu in 2027. For the full report on that, the Punch newspaper is still your guide. And still coming from the Punch, Correctional Service sacks 15 officers, demotes 59 in major sweep. In a sweeping disciplinary action aimed at reinforcing professionalism and accountability, the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Service approved sanctions against dozens of officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The move follows the conclusion of a review into 231 disciplinary cases brought before the board. 15 personnel were dismissed for serious misconduct and violation of service regulations, while 59 officers were demoted after being found guilty of breaching professional standards. For the full report on that, the Punch newspaper is your guide. And this one says NCAA stops Fuji star K1 the ultimate from flying for 6 months. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has said popular Fuji Wasiu Ayinde, also known as K1 the Ultimate, Nigeria for 6 months over alleged misconduct at the domestic terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at the NCAA, Bill Achimugu, disclosed this on Thursday during a press briefing. For the full report, the Punch newspaper is your guide. Punch 2 in police net, 2 in police net over Gombe State Police Command on Thursday arrested 2 youths in connection with the brutal killing of the old man Dauda Ahmed in Kumo, Akoluku government area of the state. Suspects Babayo Musa, 20, and Zaidu Sani, 18, are accused of conspiring with 2 others still alleged to attack Dauda with machetes over allegations of motorcycle theft. For the newspaper is your guide. And the way from Punch over now to the Vanguard. Heavy floods to hit 191 states FG1s. As rain continued to pound parts of the country, the Nigeria Hydrological Service Agency NIHSA yesterday warned that heavy flooding will hit 198 local government areas in 31 states and the Federal Capital Territory to 2025. The warning came as the Lagos state government sympathized with Ikorodu residents occasioned by Monday's marathon downpour, assuring that necessary measures were in place to effectively manage flash flood. An intervention for residents of affected communities are being worked out. For the full report, the Vanguard newspaper is your guide. And still from the Vanguard, telecoms blackout looms as base station operators, diesel business dispute between telecom tower managers, IHS, and the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria, NOGASA, is threatening to affect the country. The dispute, Vanguard arose from an allegation by IHS that 2 members of NOGASA misappropriated their diesel stock and called for thorough investigation. However, NOGASA, in a swift response, said IHS was deflecting attention contract and refusing to for accurate stock its members had supplied the tower managers. Meanwhile, including MTN, Airtel, Globacom, and Nine Mobile, have cried out through their umbrella body. The Delta State may soon shut down, and NOGASA have blocked the access to IHS. For the full report on that, the Vanguard newspaper is your guide. T27 P2B. Okay, 2023 P2B never spent Labour Party funds on campaign. Ex-treasurer, a former national treasurer of the Labour Party, Oluchi Opara, mentioned that the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. P2B, tampered with party funds during his 2023 presidential campaign. Opera said that Obi personally financed his activities and even contributed financially to the party. Now for the full report on that, the Vanguard is still your go-to newspaper. And this one says, First Lady donates 10 TB diagnostic machines, 1 billion naira to FCTA. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has donated 10 tuberculosis machines and pledged an additional 1 billion naira to support the Federal Capital Territory administration in its fight against tuberculosis. The donation, made under her Renewed Hope initiative, was reviewed during the commissioning of new TB diagnostic machines in Abuja, Nigeria hospital. The First Lady, who was represented by the wife of the Kwara State Governor, Professor Olufolake Abdulrazak, reaffirmed her commitment to eliminating tuberculosis in Nigeria. Now for the full report on that, the Vanguard, your guide, and one more from the Vanguard. Insecurity Sokoto family as 30 communities in Zamfara. Widespread fear has led to mass displacement into Reta and Dangi, Shuni local government Sokoto state as relentless bandit attack continue to ravage, forcing hundreds of families to flee their homes in desperation. For months, primarily women and children have fled under the cover of night, seeking refuge in open spaces, bushes, and under trees, unable to sleep indoors due to the persistent threat of violence. Now for the full report. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the Dailies on 24 News Radio. More reviews from other newspapers after this break. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back. This is Today in the Dailies on 24 News Radio and Television. Yes, heading over to the Nation newspaper. WAEC withdraws 2025 results over technical glitches. We had this same report. So if you're interested in this report, the Nation newspaper and the Punch newspaper is your guide. This one says orders NCAA to play Form 1 on a no-fly list. And this one says FG dismisses 15 correctional personnel, demotes 59 over misconduct. For the full report on these, you can check the Nation newspaper. And this one says economic crisis exaggerated, says presidential aide. Nigeria's economic crisis has been exaggerated by alarmist and subjective critics bent on creating confusion, the presidency said yesterday. It said, contrary to the exaggeration and unbalanced portrayal of the country as a land of hunger, hardship, and helplessness in an editorial of a nation, the country is overcoming its lean period at a very fast rate. For the full report on that, the Nation newspaper is your guide. This one says the Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Lagos West, the Right Reverend James Olushola, has called on the federal government to prioritize economic reforms that directly address the growing poverty levels, even as it celebrates individuals offering exceptional service to the nation, such as sports athletes. Now for the full report, the Nation newspaper is your guide. And this one says nurse gets kudos for professional report. The Nation is still your guide. And heading over to the Leadership newspaper, FG sets up agribusiness for ex orders. The federal government launched major agribusiness and livelihood empowerment initiatives as former combatants and conflict-affected communities in Nigeria. The National Counter-Terrorism Center (NCTC) in the Office of the National Security Advisor announced the initiative at a high-level donors and stakeholders meeting that was held in Abuja. For the full report, the Leadership newspaper is your guide. This one is FG issues mandatory compliance directive to MDAs. The federal government, through the Equipment Leasing Registration Authority, has issued a mandatory compliance directive to all ministries, departments, and agencies regarding equipment leasing procedures and documentation in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja on Thursday by the registrar of the group, Donald Wakama. And this one says Benue takes delivery of machines for brewery juice factories. The Benue Investment and Property Company Limited has taken delivery of 10 trucks loaded with machines for the soon-to-be launched Food Basket Brewery, Burnt Fruits and Juice Factories in Makurdi, slated for October 2025. Managing Director Dr. Raymond, who made this known while taking delivery of the machines. Hold on. Okay, while taking the delivery of the machines at the BIPC head, said the company had earlier received 16 truckloads of machines for the beer company out of the expected 50 trucks. Now, what the Leadership newspaper is still. Then away from the leadership newspaper, we have the Guardian newspaper. 2027, 151 new parties indicate interest, says INEC. Ahead of the countdown of the 2027 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has begun shortlisting associations qualified for the next stage of political party registration, noting that the number of applications has ballooned to 151, with 8 new submissions recorded last week. Now, for the full report, the Guardian newspaper is your guide. And away from the Nigerian newspapers, let's head over to the foreign scene. This one coming from CNN. As Trump's deadline for Russia comes due, White House preps for possible summit with Putin. President Donald Trump's deadline for Russia to end its war in Ukraine or suffer severe economic fires today, being Friday, but it's unclear how to proceed amid new efforts towards a summit with Vladimir Putin and China. Now for the full part, the CNN is your guide, and this one says Israel's Security Cabinet approves Netanyahu plan to occupy Gaza City. Israel's Security Cabinet has approved a plan to take over Gaza City. The deadline for the first phase of the offensive is October 7. Ahead of the cabinet meeting, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel intended to take military control of Gaza. For the full report, the CNN is your guide. And from the BBC, Netanyahu divides and allies with plans for new military push in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin a new military push in the Gaza Strip, opponents from the army leadership, opposition from hostage families, and concern that more Palestinians will be killed. They risk isolating their country even further. BBC is your guide. Here's murderer's alleged attempt to kill husband. Convicted triple murderer Erin Patterson allegedly tried her husband, including with cookies she made their daughter had baked in. The Australian woman was found guilty of murdering 3 relatives and attempting to kill another with a toxic mushroom-laced beef Wellington. Well, that's sad. For the full report on that, the BBC is your guide. And this one says an actress settles lawsuit with actress Gina Carano against Disney after she was fired from Star Wars franchise spin-off. She was dropped off the cast in 2021 following comments she made comparing the US to being Jew during the Holocaust. For the full report, the BBC is your guide. And now coming from the world of sports, we have renovate facilities as Ondo Sunshine and NPFL return. This one says female yellow greens for World Cup qualifiers. Dallas Osimhen boxes rake in 4.2 million euro. Now let's take some reports on that. The Ondo State Football Agency has begun the renovation of abandoned facilities at its football village in Akure, as Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa had promised the return of Sunshine Stars and Sunshine Queens to the top tier of Nigerian football. Now for the full report on that, the Punch newspaper is a guide. This one says Dallas Osimhen boxes rake in 4.2 million euro. Galatasaray's special Victor Osimhen collectors boxes have generated 4.2 million euro in revenue, 1,000 pre-orders with ease of launch, with each solo 2 gala box priced at 900,999 Turkish lira. That's impressive. Is your guide. This one says female yellow greens get foreign coaches for World Cup qualifiers. Head coach of Nigeria's senior female cricket team, Leke Oyede, is working with 2 coaches, 6 ICC Women's World Cup Africa qualifiers, which will take place in Namibia from August 20. For the full report, the Punch newspaper is your guide. Yes, and that's the much you can take today on the newspaper review, radio, and television. Don't forget, you can place your advert on the program of your interest. Do join us for another edition of the newspaper review on Monday, same time, same station. My name is Grace Wanfo. Have a lovely weekend.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and it make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV.